Good afternoon. It is Monday, March 7th, 2022, and it is 3:10 p.m. Thank you for your patience, everybody. This is the Minnesota Senate Education, Finance, and Policy Committee. We've come to order, and we have a quorum. We have 4 bills up today. So the first one on the docket is Senate File 821, Senator Eichorn.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Somebody forgot their phone up here. I'm not sure who it is, so I'll start with that first. I think we figured it out.
We're so organized in this committee, so organized.
Well, thank you for the opportunity, Mr. Chair, to hear Senate File 821. I'd like to thank my co-sponsors, yourself, Senator Duckworth, Senator Clausen, and Senator Weger. Senate File 821 is a statewide initiative supported by many organizations that work together through the state's after-school network. The goal of this bill is to expand high-quality after-school programs for students and making sure they can participate in youth enrichment activities. As we know, many students were struggling before the pandemic, and now things are even worse for them than they were before. This bill will help close some opportunity gaps by bringing another workforce of positive adults to work with our students, inspiring them, giving them a safe space outside of traditional academics. These programs also support our educators by giving students another safe and healthy environment, and it supports working parents as well. The grants must be awarded equitably across the state, rural, suburban, urban, and no particular grade of students is targeted, so it would be open for all of the grades and geographically as well, which we think is important. With me today, we've got a few people that would like to share some insights about why this is an important proposal, and if we could hand it over to them, Mr. Chair, I would like to do so.
Thank you, Senator Eichorn. The first one I have on the list is Mr. Vake, and then Mr. Sana, and is it Zongvu, and then Mr. Uni from MDE. So we'll start off with Mr. Vake. Welcome to the committee. You're come off mute. State your name and who you're with for the record. You may begin. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and committee members. My name is Travis Bakke, and I am the CEO of the Boys and Girls Club of Boys Fort. Our organization typically serves more than 250 school-age kids in 2 separate locations, one on each sector of the Boys Fort Reservation. Boys and Girls Clubs gives kids a safe space with caring adults while they are not in school and their parents are not home. Programs in educational and STEAM enrichment, healthy lifestyles, career readiness, character, and leadership provide equitable opportunities to the youth who need us the most. In addition to the Boys Fort clubs, Boys and Girls Clubs serve 17 communities in or near Minnesota Native American reservations and communities with additional clubs on or near the Red Lake, White Earth, and Leech Lake reservations, as well as metro clubs at the Minneapolis American Indian Center and Little Earth of United Church. Clubs provide care and programming to more than 13,000 school-age youth at these sites. Native clubs strengthen their youth's cultural identity through programming that explicitly promotes positive youth growth and development. As part of the Minnesota Alliance of Boys and Girls Clubs, we are requesting the state invest in after-school programs like ours through this proposed after-school grant. Like you, every day we see the recent effects the pandemic has had on our youth, especially in their mental and educational health. We also continue to see the negative effects of the opportunity gap grow for young learners. In 32 communities across Minnesota, 57 Boys and Girls Club locations are committed to ensuring that all young people graduate on time with a plan for the future and a lifelong love of learning. Because no single program or activity can accomplish this ambitious vision for education, the Boys and Girls Clubs of America has developed and evaluated Project Learn. Project Learn is a holistic strategy to ensure every moment staff members and space in the club supports academic success. This strategic approach leverages the programming, staff practices, partnerships, and overall club environment. Project Learn complements and reinforces what youth learn during the day, while creating experiences that spark inspiration and invite curiosity. Additional funding for out-of-school time, community programs, specifically after-school programs for Indigenous youth, would strengthen and increase the number of youth that benefit from the mentorship and educational assistance they need to have successful futures. I would like to end my testimony here today by reinforcing how important it is to recognize the significance that this pandemic has had on students in Minnesota and this country. For years to come, after-school programs are going to have to supplement the work of our schools to help our youth play catch-up. Whether you point to social aspects of the world, emotional aspects of the world, or simply tutoring and other academic aspects, make no mistake about it, our youth have been the hardest impacted by this pandemic, and we will continue to see the result of the pandemic for years to come, while we try to help our youth advance in the life skills that they need. And from where I'm sitting, and I hope from where all of you are sitting, as the decision makers for our youth, you feel the same about the significant importance of after-school programming at the Boys and Girls Clubs and other organizations, and for all after-school programming in general. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm open to any questions if anyone has any. Otherwise, I appreciate the time.
Thank you, Mr. Vake. We'll keep walking through the testifiers here. Next on the list is Mr. Santa. You're up. Welcome back to committee. Please state your name and who you're with for the record. You may begin. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd also like to thank Senator Eichorn and Senator Duckworth for helping us honor our police officers this past weekend. My name is Tony Sane. I'm with the Sane Foundation, and we run youth development programming. I'm going to keep this pretty simple because it's very factual, and the day is long, and we need to be able to support our students. We know that every child learns a different way, and having access to quality after-school programs allows us more one-on-one time. It's less distracting to a teacher that may have to attend to a student during the day instead of the whole classroom. We all learn differently. A lot of times, most of the after-school programs encompass an experiential educational learning environment where it's literacy or STEM, or you're looking to cook, or just be healthy by moving. So it really helps our educational system. Fiscally, it's also very responsible. Parents that work, we have a lot of single-family households or dual-family income earners. And we want to reward those people that have jobs by not making childcare a burden. So being able to stay at your school and participate in positive after-school activities and enrichment is healthy for the whole community. My last couple notes is it gives you a choice, staying after school and choosing what you want to do and what inspires you. When I was young, I liked soccer, and I actually was a big pottery person. So I stayed after school to work with pots and make clays. But having something that excites you keeps you out of the trouble and positive. So letting kids choose what after-school program they want to be in is really important. So thank you for allowing me to come and testify. Lastly, this is a statewide. I think a lot of times we forget about how diverse the state is, especially in small towns where there's maybe not as much funding for after-school activities. Once you get outside the cities, this is where it could really benefit people investing in making sure that those places have after-school program as well. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Santa. Thank you for your work in the past as well. Next up is Zong Vu. Is that correct?
Yes, Zong Vu Fei, yes.
All right. Thank you. Well, for the record, state your name and who you're with, and you may begin. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. Thank you for your time this afternoon. My name is Zong Vu Fei, and I am the strategy manager for policy at Ignite After School. Ignite After School is Minnesota's statewide network, one of 50 in the country. Our primary mission is to ensure that every young person in every community experiences the power of after school. We bring together a broad range of organizations that close that provide, after school and summer programs in order to close race, income, and geography-based access gaps through advocacy, professional development, and partnership building. I am honored to represent our diverse and broad network to speak in support of Senate File 821, which reestablishes the After-School Community Learning Grant Program, which has not seen an appropriation since 2007-2008. This is a competitive grant program that expands access to high-quality after-school and summer program for students in K through 12th grade. There is a growing base of research that shows regular participation in high-quality after-school programs can improve school attendance, behavior, and core academics, foster social emotional learning and skills, keep young people safe in critical after-school hours, and support working families, as Tony mentioned, by ensuring young people are engaged in learning so parents can focus on work. A survey of parents found that in Minnesota, 84% of parents support public funding for after school. Senator Eichorn's bill ensures that more young people can experience these kinds of outcomes by focusing on 4 goals. Number 1, strengthening positive youth-adult relationships and to promote healthy behavior and attitudes. The second, developing skills and behaviors necessary to succeed in post-secondary education and career opportunities. The third is encouraging school attendance and improving academic performance. And last, expanding access to programming in underserved communities. The After-School Community Learning Grant Bill is designed, as Senator Eichorn mentioned earlier, to be open to all types of after-school program providers, so families and communities have choice. It is also meant to have many types of communities that can apply because the key after-school and summer program providers in community will be eligible. Ensure equitable distribution of funds across the state. Focus on low-income and other underserved students. And provide professional development and continuous program improvement that focuses on quality so programs can achieve outcomes. Pressures brought on by COVID-19 global pandemic have resulted in many young people struggling with mental health challenges. Our partner, the Greater Twin Cities United Way, provides free and confidential emotional support to people in suicidal crisis or emotional distress as part of the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline Network. In 2020, roughly 10% of the calls that United Way fielded were from young people under the age of 15. The pandemic also demonstrated that young people needed additional community-based supports that complement and support school success. Nonprofit and other community-based organizations stepped up to provide a variety of support and opportunities to young people during the pandemic, and Ignite documented many of those stories. Some open distance learning centers provided meals and virtual mental health services in addition to providing enrichment activities. Mr. Sana's foundation is one of those examples. None of this would have been possible without strong community-based organizations that already had a long history of providing high-quality youth program development experiences. Yet community-based after-school and summer program providers can only contribute to our recovery if we address the gaps in access that exist around the state. Even before the pandemic, we had data to show that families in Minnesota are experiencing declining access to after-school and summer program learning, despite a strong interest in participating. America After 3 is a parent survey that has been administered since 2004. For the first time in the history of study, the 2020 results found the number of youth in Minnesota regularly participating in high-quality after-school learning declined. For every young person in after-school program, 3 say that they would be, but they don't have access. In addition, existing funding sources for these types of programs are not adequate. For example, the 21st Century Community Learning Center program can only fund 1/3 of the applications received, and the program would need an additional $51 million over 3 years to fund all the qualified, high-quality applications. Now more than ever, we have to make this investment. I want to thank Senator Eichorn for his bill and his leadership on this issue and hope for your support in Senate File 821. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Vu. Appreciate that. Next up is Adosh Uni from the department. Mr. Uni, welcome to the committee. You know the drill. You may go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, committee members. My name is Adosh Uni, and I'm the Director of Government Relations for the Minnesota Department of Education. Thank you for the opportunity to testify on Senator Eichorn's bill to support after-school community learning programs. These opportunities offer high-quality programming that meet the needs of students and their families. These enrichment activities complement and reinforce the school day program and engage families of students who are served in the programs. Until this year, the 21st Century Community Learning Center's grant program was the only dedicated federal source of funding for after-school and the largest source of funding for after-school programming in Minnesota. Minnesota also has a history of funding after-school programs. In the 1990s, the state operated the after-school enrichment program. The funding for that grant program ultimately ended in 2002. The After-School Community Learning Center's grant program was originally established in 2007 and provided funding to community or nonprofit organizations, political subdivisions, for-profit or nonprofit child care centers, and school-based programs that serve youth after school or during non-school hours. The funding provided grants to 21 after-school program providers for 2 years, but the program ultimately ended in 2009. Then the elementary and secondary school emergency relief, or ESSER funds, included in the American Rescue Plan, or ARP, included 1% set-asides for summer and after-school programming. The governor then designated $13.2 million out of the 9.5% bucket from the third ESSER round for after-school grants that was administered by Ignite After School. Also out of this bucket, the governor designated $13.2 million for summer enrichment programming. Both of these buckets require half of their funding to go to culturally specific community organizations to ensure their expertise is recognized and supported. Those funds will expire in 2024, but the need for access to high-quality after-school programs will continue. Additional state funding would ensure that high-quality after-school programming is accessible to all students. The governor has also proposed funding for after-school programs in his 2022 budget at $5 million per year. And as you've heard today, and as we've learned through the pandemic, now more than ever, these opportunities are crucial for our students' success. Thank you again for the opportunity to provide support for this effort to provide ongoing funding for our after-school programs.
Thank you, Mr. Uni. I have a question for our staff that's never stumped. Ms. Hoffer, do you have a moment? Did you find that? Was there any information you can give regarding the funding to this program? I know Mr. Uni had just mentioned something, but do you have the data? You have information? What? Yeah, well, admittedly, so Mr. Uni, slowly, please, for me. Is this program currently funded with state dollars or no?
This program is not currently funded.
So the funding, Mr. Uni, came from the federal programs?
Mr. Chair, the funding through the federal funds is not through this statute. The statute specifically doesn't have state funding or federal funding attached to it. There were 2 buckets of federal funds that were allocated over last summer, $13.2 million for Ignite After School to provide funding for partners for after-school programming, and then $13.2 million for summer enrichment programming, which operates in the same space. Additionally, on top of that, schools were able to use their ESSER dollars, were required to use 1% of their ESSER dollars for summer and after-school programming.
Okay, thank you. Got it. Thank you very much. Senator Isaacson, you had a question? No. No, you got to use it, this thing here. So F1, yeah. Yeah, thank you.
So, thank you, Mr. Chair. Hold on 1 second. There we go. And my computer's still making noise. That's awesome. Sorry about that. Should put that away. Technology is not my friend. Anyways, I am a fan of what you're talking about regarding supporting after-school activities. I've also had the pleasure as a kid to take advantage of the Boys and Girls Club when I was younger. I have one question, and it's meant in honest sincerity. I've recently been talking to constituents that says there's a real lack of support for after-school activities and organizations around kids with special needs that are in school, and I'm wondering, does this bill highlight or focus on that, or any of the organizations that are looking at taking the money, thinking about that? And I think either way, it's probably a good idea. Was curious about that because I've recently been hearing about that from constituents that some of my constituents have students that are not your traditional student in high school settings, so they're not going to be able to be in sports or athletics or that kind of stuff. And I'd like to know what kind of focus we have there, because I know seems to be a lack of that right now. Thank you.
Senator Eichorn, you want to take a stab at that?
Yes, Mr. Chair, Senator Isaacson, and the bill's intent is to touch everybody, including those with disabilities. I don't know exactly what work they do, but Ms. Vang might be able to answer a question as to what groups are working in that space. You're right, there probably needs to be more, but if she wants to touch on that, she might be able to better answer exactly what they're doing than I can.
Ms. Vu?
Or Vu, I'm sorry, I said Vang tonight.
Okay. Thank you. That's a very good question. And, with this competitive grant program, it is, as Senator Eichorn mentioned, to touch all audiences and youth. And this is a competitive grant program where community-based organizations, schools can be partners of this, and this can be something that those groups of, for those particular students, can absolutely benefit from as well.
Thank you. Senator Isaacson?
Yeah, I'm totally with you on the same page. I'm not trying to sound like I don't support it. I think that my concern is that what I found in the competitive grant programs has been that the organizations that have the most organizational skills, good at writing grants, and our focus are the ones that tend to get there, and usually those are the ones that are really well staffed, which then tends to have, you know what I mean, has an unwittingly effective focusing in on our money on certain areas and missing other areas where they don't have the same concerns. And so I think that in the future, I would like us to think about, I have found the need to set aside some of that money in the competitive grant program to specifically highlight that if that's necessary. Maybe not down this road right now, but I hope in the future, Senator Eichorn, you'll think about that, because I do believe that there is a real need around providing some opportunity for our special needs kids to have the same kind of experience of belonging and the feeling of being a part of. But I think it's so essential to be a part of that school experience that right now they're fairly isolated because they're not having that moment. And so I hope down the road maybe we can look at that to be more specific and tailored. And that being said, I'm happy that we're supplying opportunities for folks to have those kind of opportunities right now after school special or classes and activities. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Isaacson. Senator Newman, I understand you have a little amendment we want to take care of here.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, Mr. Chair and members, if you go to page 3, lines 3.1 through 3.4, requires the commissioner to monitor and evaluate the performance of this program, but doesn't indicate what the commissioner should do with that evaluation. So I've had an amendment prepared, the A3 amendment, which I would offer, which simply indicates the commissioner has to report to the legislature, the chairs and ranking members of the committee.
Thank you, Senator Newman. They're passing out the amendment now.
Okay.
Wait till Senator Eichorn gets it. On the surface, it seems reasonable.
Mr. Chair, I can speak to that if you want.
Yes, Senator Eichorn.
Mr. Chair, I would consider that A3 a friendly amendment. Also, for the committee's reference, we are going to be continuing to work on this bill. We did have an amendment that we thought we might be working on for today, but wasn't quite ready yet, that we're going to continue to work on. I have no problem incorporating this at the moment, but there is a little bit of additional work that'll be done, and then we're also going to need to plug in a dollar figure at some point as well, and that's part of what the amendment was we were initially working on, which is different than this. But to Senator Newman's amendment, I would say it's friendly. We don't have a problem with MDE reporting back to the legislature. We think that's good governance.
All right, thank you. Members, any other questions regarding said amendment? Senator, no? Okay. So to the A3 amendment, Senator Newman moves we adopt the A3 amendment. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. A3 adopted. So Senator Kunish, you got a question, then we're going to move on?
Sure, I'll make it as quick as I can. I am looking on page 2 at line 2.4, and it says, increase access to protective factors. And I was wondering if you could give us a few examples of protective factors, please.
Senator Eichorn?
Sorry, we were looking at the last amendment. We might need you to repeat.
Sure. It is
where are we?
line 2.4. Number 1 says, increase access to protective factors that build young people's capacity. And I'm just wondering if you could give us some examples of protective factors.
Senator Eichorn? It's a
Mr.
good
Chair,
question.
what's that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Chair, I might see if we can talk with Ignite here to see if they can provide, because they're providing some of these services, they might be able to give a better answer than I can. So we're going to phone a friend on this one.
Thank you, Chair and members of the committee. My name is Carrie Dennison-Kaneen, and I'm the Executive Director of Ignite After School, so I work with Ms. Fu. Yes, so here what it means to provide protective factors, one of the things that research shows is that young people need access to a range of caring adults, trusting adults. So when you look at like the Minnesota Student Survey data, you'll see that 25% of young people in Minnesota say they don't have access to a caring adult. So one of the things that we really want to do, and that's one example of a protective factor, is to make sure through after-school programs, young people are being connected and have that network of caring adults around them when they're in crisis or need something or need to be connected. So that would be one example.
Is that okay for you now? We're going to lay it over, too.
Yeah, that sounds good. I do have just another question here.
Okay, Senator Kunish?
Sure. And great minds think alike, because I was wondering the same thing about you know, what they were going to do with performance information. But on line 3.2 at the end of that sentence, to continue the question, where it says, assess the effectiveness of after-school community learning programs, what measurement do we use, or how do we measure effectiveness?
Senator Eichorn?
Mr. Chair, I think we'll hand it over again to our testifier.
Okay.
Thank you, members of the committee. So thank you for that question. It's an important one. So we look at the strong basis of research and out of school time. And so what we look at is like meta-analysis, which is like, I went and looked at all these different studies. I found out what all of those studies are saying matters, and then we want to measure those things. So some of the things we know in the research is that dosage matters, which kind of makes after school sound like medicine, but it really does mean that in order for the outcomes to happen, young people need to participate for a certain number of times. So we're going to look at least 60 sessions over a long period of time. The other things we want to look at are if the school has a partnership with schools where you can look at academic data, you'll want to look at that if that program is intentionally set up to impact academics. We have some programs that look at graduation data, and then we also look at pieces around their social emotional learning assessments that after school programs use, and then also what we call point of service quality assessments, which is kind of like a teacher observation in a classroom but you conduct it in an after school program. So you're going and observing, is this program designed where the programming, the learning scaffolds on each other? Is it welcoming? Are staff saying hi to young people when they show up? Because the other thing we find is that when young people are engaged and they feel good about being in that program tends to have better results. So those are some examples.
All right, thank
Thank you.
you very much. We got to move on. We spent a lot of time on this. So we got a few more bills to do, so we got to move on to the next. But closing comments, Senator Eichorn?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, again for the opportunity to hear Senate File 821. And in the interest of time, I will leave it at that.
Thank you, Senator Eichorn. Thank you, testifiers. Certainly is needed. It's clear that these COVID issues in the schools has had a dramatic impact, negative impact on our kids, especially those first couple of years in the grade school. So a lot of catching up to do, very, very harmful to many of them, and we have to look at ways to augment that and undo that to catch up. So with that, members, Senate File 821, has been amended, it's going to be laid over. So thank you very much. Next up, Senator Coleman, Senate File 3586. Welcome to the committee. I don't think you have any amendments, do you?
I believe
I
I
know of.
have
Is
the
there one?
A1 technical amendment.
Author's amendment,
Is
technical.
that still happening?
There it is, yep. Changing dates, author's amendment. So members, we have an author's amendment in front of us. Senator Coleman moves, we adopt author's amendment A1. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, thank you, Senator Coleman. You may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to start by thanking my co-author, Senator Duckworth, and as of today, I believe Senator Uyghur as well has hopped onto this bill, so thank you for the support. As you are all aware, general community education revenue is a versatile funding source which provides school districts flexibility to address needs in each community across Minnesota through innovative programs. This funding also ensures the sustainability of community education in small, more rural school districts. In communities with aging populations, community education programs are the primary providers of older adult and senior programs. General community ed allows districts to provide equitable school opportunities for all youth. General community education revenue, which has remained flat since 2005, is the main funding source that allows community education to meet the needs of their communities by tailoring services through a variety of programs for children, youth, adults, and seniors. This bill provides additional funding for school districts so they have the opportunity to provide more program offerings in these areas. And I do have one testifier, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator Coleman. Welcome to the committee. I think I recognize your face somewhere up there where I hang around. We'll leave it at that. So welcome to the committee. Please state your name and who you're with for the record. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Senator Chamberlain. I'm Tim Mauer, representing White Bear Lake Area Schools and MCEA, the Minnesota Community Ed Association.
You may proceed, sir.
All right,
Thank
thank you.
Welcome.
Good afternoon, Chair Chamberlain, members of the Senate Education, Finance, and Policy Committee. Thank you for allowing me the time today, and thank you to Senator Coleman for introducing Senate File 3586. Again, my name is Tim Mauer. I serve as the Director of Community Services and Recreation for White Bear Lake Area School District. Today, I represent the Minnesota Community Ed Association and community education departments across the state of Minnesota. Thank you for considering additional investments in community education. This bill modifies language that will expand partnerships in our communities and provide a much-needed increase in funding to general community education revenue. The current general community ed levy has remained flat since 2005, as Senator Coleman stated. If this bill is approved, the levy would increase by $1.58 per capita beginning in 2024. These funds would support program sustainability and increase access by keeping costs down. It would also offer the opportunity to explore new programming that can be tailored to address local challenges. Community education has established a proven statewide school-based network and delivery system of programs and services which is designed to provide universal access for our youngest to oldest Minnesotans. Starting with our youngest learners, children birth to age 5 years old, along with their parents, can access high-quality, affordable early childhood programming during this critical learning period to better prepare our children for a successful academic career. Youth programs ensure that K-12 learners have equitable access to quality out-of-school time academic, enrichment, athletic, youth development, community service, and after-school care opportunities. These programs reduce risk-taking behaviors, promote better emotional adjustment, and increase connectedness to schools and communities. Adult basic education programs promote an educated workforce, which is a key to Minnesota's prosperity by providing essential education and skill building that improve the economy by increasing the number of educated and fully employable adults in the community. Senior programs serve as a gateway to the nation's aging network, connecting older adults to vital community services that can help them stay healthy, active, and independent. Research shows that older adults who participate in senior programs can learn to manage and delay the onset of chronic disease and experience measurable improvements in their physical, social, spiritual, emotional, mental, and economic well-being. In summary, the general community education levy has remained flat since 2005. As costs continue to increase each year, these funds provide program sustainability and accessibility for all and allow us to meet the needs of our communities by tailoring services through our community ed programs. Community education programs are vital to Minnesota's future. The statewide school-based network connects local people and resources to improve schools and communities. We hope that you will support Senate File 3586. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Mauer. I have a question. Senator Coleman, is this, are we increasing levy and aid or reducing levy and increasing aid? How do you know what we're doing? It looks like about 12 million. Is that all aid?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This, if I'm reading this correctly, does offer a local levy decrease but a state aid increase for a net community education revenue increase of 9.1 million.
Okay. Well, there it is in my notes right there. Thank you. Good. All right. Members, any questions? Comments? Senator Kunish.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and Ms. Coleman, thanks for bringing this forward. We really need to put more money into this program. I was looking through the community education spreadsheet with all the different schools that would make a difference, and I'm not seeing the 4 BIE, Bureau of Indian Education schools. Do you know if they have access to these funds?
Senator Coleman.
That's a good question. I am happy to turn over to anyone who may have an answer on that. Otherwise, I can get back to you on that for sure.
The fiscal answer is the community ed funds do not currently flow to BIE.
May I ask another question, Chair?
Of course.
Do you know
Senator
why
Kunish.
they don't apply to the BIE schools?
I have no idea. 1 second. What I've been advised, Senator Kunish, is that mostly funded through the feds, and they don't do any property tax levies up there. So that's primarily for the school.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Anything else, members? All right. Senator Uyghur.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Senator Coleman, for chief authoring this, and Mr. Mauer for your leadership in community ed as well as locally White Bear Lake. Mr. Mauer, could you amplify further in terms of the opportunity for community ed in addressing issues like reading proficiency, ready for K? These are, common themes we're talking about. Community ed can make an impact, obviously, and early childhood's tied in, full-service community schools. Could you share more about the philosophy of community ed and not only what we can do here, but additionally to address the issues I cited?
Yeah, I think
Mr.
that.
Mauer.
Yeah, thank you. It might be one of those questions that's broad and specific. I think at the same time as in a response is, the wonderful thing about the general community ed levy is that we are able to address those dollars where it is needed. We are allowed that flexibility with those funds, so we can address things to provide additional after-school programs for kids who may be experiencing learning loss in certain areas and provide free programming for them or very affordable programming for them after school, over the summer, and for all ages. Even through our early childhood programs during the school day, before and after within school age care, or enrichment programs after school, as well as our adult basic education programs as we look to prepare adults for their next steps in whatever journey they're on in receiving GED or workforce skills to be applied for future work opportunities. And then summer programming as well, because we know we operate year round and we offer programs not only for school year based programs, but summer learning opportunities too. So we can kind of do our part to stem that summer learning loss that some students may experience over the summer.
Mr. Chair, just a brief follow-up.
Senator Uyghur.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Mauer, is there a vision of full-service community schools that would be even more advantageous to accomplishing mission, and what does it take to get there?
Senator, Mr. Mauer, Senator Uyghur, I'll let Mr. Mauer answer that, but maybe we can get on with this. This has nothing to do with, full-service community schools is one issue. This is community ed. They do a broad range of, they provide a broad range of services. So short of getting involved and going down the rabbit hole of full-service community schools, let's just leave it at that. We're focusing on community ed, and we can get to laying this bill over and get to the next two bills. Senator Uyghur.
Briefly, Mr. Chair, I'm not going down a rabbit hole. I'm going right to the fundamental purpose of community ed, which was initially brought in by Senator Jerry Hughes. And it talked about parental involvement. It talked about early involvement, working with the families, the teachers, and others in the schools. That was the vision. And as a person who helped start a program and chaired it in my own district, it had active involvement in community ed, in early childhood, in the learning kits, for example, and on learning how to read. There would be kits that you could bring home. It was all about getting ready for kindergarten, and it was the whole philosophy of community ed. So I'm excited when I see additional investment there, and also am so aware of the potential, especially what the founder saw. So I don't see it as a rabbit hole. I see it as a great opportunity to address many of the key issues that you've identified that we share. And I see community ed, early childhood, as being a key partner in addressing that. So we can debate further at another time.
I think we agree that some level of community ed is good, involving community and parents at different stages and points in the child's development, as well as reaching seniors as others. So thank you, Senator Uyghur. Senator Coleman, final comments?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to briefly thank my testifier, Mr. Mauer, and of course you, Mr. Chair, for the generous time and careful consideration. Thank you.
You're so welcome. That's what we do here. So with that, members, Senate File 3586 will be laid over as amended. Next up is Senator Duckworth, Senate File 3426. Senator Duckworth, and do we have any amendments for this?
No, Mr. Chair.
All right. I don't see any here. All right. Senator Duckworth, Senate File 3426. You may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon, and good afternoon, members. Just very briefly, we've talked a lot about literacy. Today we're going to talk a little bit about financial literacy. Senate File 3426 will increase and make permanent the appropriation for a grant to the Minnesota Council on Economic Education, commonly known as MCEE. It is a nonprofit that trains teachers, engages students, and reaches communities across the state. Its programs are delivered through a network of college faculty, K-12 teachers, and staff at university-based centers for economic education. This legislation appropriates an additional $150,000 in state aid to MCEE in fiscal year 2023, and it sets an annual budget base of $300,000 for fiscal year 2024 and later. The grant requires MCEE to provide professional development to Minnesota's teachers implementing state graduation standards in areas related to economic education, support Minnesota teachers who teach and coach students through economics and personal finance programs, and support higher education-based centers for economic education, including those based at Minnesota State University Mankato, Minnesota State University Moorhead, St. Cloud State University, St. Catherine University, and the University of St. Thomas. With that being said, Mr. Chair, I have a couple of testifiers here who will do a great job explaining to all of you just how important of a program and impactful of a program this is.
Thank you, Senator Duckworth. I have two testifiers, Ms. Bunn and Mr. Coleman. I have Ms. Dr. Bunn first. Yeah, welcome to the committee. Please state your name and who you're with for the record. You may proceed. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Chamberlain and members. My name is Julie Bunn. I'm the Executive Director of the Minnesota Council on Economic Education. And as the Senator said, we refer to it as MCEE. In a moment, you'll be hearing from a talented Minnesota teacher. One of the teachers MCE exists to serve and support. Now I'll make a few key points and provide some numbers in support of the bill. First point, since its founding in 1961 by a coalition of business, labor, and academic leaders, MCE's mission has been to increase the economic and financial literacy of all Minnesotans. From the beginning, however, MCE's primary avenue for doing so has been through the training of K-12 teachers to deliver quality economic and financial education. We serve all teachers and students in the state, regular public, charter, private, and homeschooled. We communicate with all via email, newsletters, and social media. We also communicate with school administrators and, in some instances, high school counselors. Our work is the bedrock on which so much else in the K-12 economics and personal finance space is built. First, MCE supports the delivery of the K-12 economic standards and embedded within those the personal finance standards. We develop and curate curriculum lessons that align with the standards, and we deliver all the training teachers require to deliver these standards. We also have integrated the standards with standards in other areas in entrepreneurship education. At the elementary school level, we integrate math and economics for the teachers. We have integrated economics into the broader and additional social studies curriculum, and we have integrated economics into the literature and reading literacy programs in these schools and with these teachers. At the high school level, we have integrated economics with sustainability and understanding of the environment. We also have programs and curriculum on global food systems and markets, and as I mentioned, entrepreneurship education. In all these instances, they're aligned with the math, reading, and science standards, in addition to the economics, social studies standards. Second point, our teacher education work is the foundation on which organizations like Junior Achievement and Best Prep can thrive. These complementary programs are student-focused. MC provides the teacher knowledge foundation to pair with these activities. Without it, these other programs would have much less value than they do if the teachers weren't prepared to work with the students in conjunction with these programs. Additionally, college and the schools. Our teacher professional development opportunities is what allows teachers in the state to qualify for the college and the schools in education. Finally, in this area, pre-service teachers. MC not only works directly with K-12 teachers in the field, we also work with 17 of the college and university higher education pre-service programs to bring instruction to them from us and our master teachers to prepare them to get their teaching licensures in this area. My second major point of the afternoon. This is the fourth year MC has introduced a bill requesting base funding for the core teacher professional development portion of our programming. Last year, spreading it across 2 bills and 2 finance divisions, we requested $400,000. We received one-time, non-renewable $150,000 grants via a commerce bill and none through K-12 education. The request in this bill is for $150,000 next fiscal year and then $300,000 the base ongoing. The accomplished teacher you're about to hear from received his training from MCE when we were receiving double the financial support from all sources than we are at this time. We used to have a budget over $1 million for this work. It's now $500,000 or less. They were able to experience, this teacher and others, in-person, intensive, multi-day trainings at little or no cost to themselves. Without ongoing state funding, such offerings will not be possible in the future. Historic federal, higher education, and private support for these activities, for the most part, is gone. A January 2022 survey of state councils around the country showed that with few exceptions, the active and effective state councils receive 25 to 50% of their funding from the state. Many of these councils have received such funding for decades. Third, during the pandemic, MCE has been extraordinarily successful in delivering training to teachers and competitions and capstone experience to Minnesota students. In fiscal 2020, we more than doubled the teachers we reached than each of the previous 2 years. In fiscal 2021, we more than doubled that again. Our registrations from teachers exceeded 2,500. In each training year, these teachers teach more than 40,000 Minnesota students, and that's in that year alone, not counting those they affect over their entire career after they've been trained. Over these same 2 years, MCE directly served 1,500 students in capstone programs and summer programs. My final point, MCE has ambitious plans for the future. They include training and curricular resources aligned with the new social studies standards, and revising and creating curriculum lessons to include and reflect all of Minnesota's diverse student population. These plans also include working collaboratively with others to ensure all Minnesota students receive sufficient personal finance literacy education. We strongly support an enhanced personal finance requirement for high school graduation, but Minnesota students need both economics and personal finance. We look forward to working with Senator Cwodzinski and others on this project over the next year. But we cannot effectively pursue these plans without ongoing and stable support. We are a small organization with a core staff of only 4 people, 4 to 5 times. We ask for your support of Senate File 3426, and we'll be glad to take your questions at the end. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bunn. Next up is Mr. Coleman.
That's right.
Welcome to the committee. Please state your name and who you're with for the record. You may begin. Thank you.
Yep. My name is Joel Coleman. I'm with Minnesota Council for Economic Education. I'm also a teacher at UBA Medical Academy. Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. So my name is Joel Coleman. I teach at UBA Medical Academy, which is an East African charter school located in Hopkins, Minnesota. And I've been at my school for about 11 years now. I've been very thankful to be at such a wonderful school. When I first arrived in 2011, I was told as a first-year teacher that I would teach economics, and with a deer in the headlights, I said, I'll give it my best. As most social studies teachers know, not many licensed teachers are excited or prepared to teach the subject of economics. As the only person in the building who would be teaching economics, I knew I had to go somewhere with some resources to be able to prepare me to best meet my students' needs. Over the course of several years, I attended numerous training sessions with the Minnesota Council, including 2 10-week-long summer courses on micro and macroeconomics and how to teach it at the high school level. I came away with an incredible amount of tools and pedagogy to help take back to my students. And every week in my class now, we do a simulation activity that really is able to take the field of economics and make it real for our students. For example, last week we built towers to show how businesses use cost of production to see how to maximize their profit. Today my voice is a little sore because we did a simulation on supply and demand where students had to negotiate loudly in the class, trying to buy a pearl from one another. And every year I take my students to a dairy farm where they get to experience and talk about the dairy markets and what impacts the price of milk. And usually every year my students love to teach the dairy farmers how different it is to milk camels versus milking cows. I can go on with all the fun activities that I've learned through MCE, and I really owe it all to the training that I've received from them. I think it's my students who've been the ones who've benefited from the training the most. One of the great bonuses of being able to take all of these trainings through MCEE is that it allowed me to be qualified to teach college in the schools microeconomics, which I've been teaching for over 6 years now at the school. The only other way to qualify for that is if I were to go back and get a master's degree in economics, and that's not really a feasible thing for a social studies teacher to go back and get. A big goal in my career has been to help first-generation college students not just get into college, but graduate from college. And I found that there is a point of my career that if I can give them a rigorous course that gets them ready for future courses, and also giving them the free college credits that those courses provide, that can be game-changing for my students. And a lot of my students go into college with a lot of college credits already, and it's been greatly beneficial to my students. My students also benefit from the MCE student competitions that are held every year. My students have participated in the Economics Challenge, a quiz bowl game that tests our economic knowledge we learn just in the classroom with students throughout the state and students throughout the nation. Just last year, we got first place in state and actually were able to go on and compete in nationals and finished about middle of the pack. And we were very proud of that. As a small school, we beat out several schools of thousands of students that my students were very excited about. Typically, those teams that are successful aren't students with 4.0s. Even the first team that I had participate, the average GPA was about a 2.0. And I think that's a testament to kind of the class and how it can connect with students who haven't traditionally been successful in the schools. Typically, my economics class can help kind of wake students up to the opportunities that exist out there and really can change their trajectory. Just in that first team that I took to the economics challenge, out of the 4 students, 3 actually ended up changing their route from a 2-year school, attended a 4-year school, and graduated with a 4-year degree. I think it's that powerful of experiences that the program helps provide. I'm not an anomaly in the economics education community. Many of us have only one single economics college course under our belt. We're licensed to teach 7 different subjects. And, you know, before we start teaching, I've definitely needed, and all of us teachers need this community of economics education to help best meet the needs of our students. All in all, me and my students are very thankful to MCEE, and we hope you approve the bill. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Coleman. Interesting stories, always. Just one thing. Mr. Heller, if we got time after done with Senator Cwodzinski's bill, we'll give you a couple minutes at the end, all right? So, members, any questions for Senator Duckworth or testifiers? Senator Cwodzinski.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate your comment, Mr. Coleman. I was that deer within the headlights. One point in my career, I was asked to teach education, and if you look at the social studies standards, boy, I don't know, a third of them are economics based, and so I am, as Dr. Bunn knows, I am a proud recipient of the program as well, and years ago now, and it made my my economics class a little more palatable, and through her, well, previous to you's work, so cracked me up when you said deer in the headlights, because I've been there. So as many social studies teachers, teaching economics is a very challenging part of the curriculum, and with the help of MCEE, it makes the job a little bit easier, so thank you.
Thank you, Senator Cwodzinski. Senator Duckworth, final comment?
Mr. Chair, members, just thank you very much for your consideration. Obviously, this bill would do a lot of good for a lot of folks, and excited to let you have the opportunity to present it. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Duckworth. Thank you, Dr. Bunn and Mr. Coleman. Good luck out there.
Thank you.
With that, Senate File 3426 will be later. Last but not least is Senator Cwodzinski, Senate File 3052. Looks like we have 3 testifiers, 1 online. I don't think you have any amendments that I see here.
I do.
You do. All right. We have an A2. Is this just an author's amendment?
Correct.
Sure. All right. So members, Senate File 3052 as the A2 author's amendment. Just changing some numbers anyway. Not major. So members, all in favor of the author's amendment A2, say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right. Thank you. Senator Cwodzinski, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. I appreciate you hearing this bill today. The bill basically provides menstrual products for all students between 4th grade and 12th grade. This bill is Classic Civics 101. A couple years ago, a bunch of young women from local schools met with me and brought this to my attention, and being a guy, unfortunately, I had no idea what issues young women faced. And I could go on and on and on with the number of women that have come forward to me in the last year talking to me about, well, we provide toilet paper, we provide soap, we provide paper towels. How come we don't provide menstrual products? Why are we penalizing young girls for being young girls? How come I can't go through my period with a little bit of dignity? And so all these people have been coming to see me, and I've been collecting all this info, and I've met with the counselors in my school districts and the many teachers and the school nurses nurses, and every single one of them has a story that just missed my attention as I raised a daughter and I'm married to my dear wife, and all of a sudden they start telling me the stories from when they were kids about things like having to go to a teacher or a secretary and asking, can I borrow your sweater? Because I bled through my clothing. And I had never heard that my daughter had to go through that until about a month ago when I told her about this bill. And I keep hearing more and more anecdotes from more and more people. Tomorrow is National Women's Day for America, and I can't think of a better bill to hear on the evening of this. Last month, my school district, Eden Prairie, Minnesota, the principal sent out a call to action survey. A call to action survey, and the kids can just weigh in on whatever issues they want to weigh in on. And 329 responses, and number 7 among those 329 responses was providing menstrual products for girls in bathrooms. That was number 7. I'm guessing probably not one guy voted for that particular item. So if you keep that in mind, number 7 is a pretty impressive number. So with that said, I have 3 testifiers here today, and I want to thank them each for coming in. And so, Ms. Ozturk, you're first.
Welcome to the committee. Please state your name and who you're with for the record, and you may begin.
Thank you, Chair Chamberlain and members of the committee, for giving me this opportunity to speak about an issue that I hold deep passion for.
Could you state your name for the record?
My name is Elif Ozturk, and I'm a sophomore at Hopkins High School. The first time that I truly became aware of the toll that a period takes on a young girl in school was during 8th grade. Each and every day that I went to the girls' bathroom, I would hear whispers of girls asking friends for products. I could feel the heightened stress caused by that time of the month. What truly frustrated me, though, was the fact that I had friends who didn't just forget their products, but couldn't afford them in the first place. I had friends whose parents couldn't give them access to this luxury product. I had friends who decided to just skip school during that time because a 14-year-old girl can't always handle the stress of doing geometry while blood is leaking onto her chair. I thought to myself, how is this fair? How do we expect our girls to carry this burden on them throughout the school day and still perform well? My number one priority should be to learn, not to find a pad. So I could no longer be complacent with this injustice. During the fall of my 9th grade after school, I emailed various representatives hoping they too would see my perspective on this. I received an excited response from Representative Sandra Feist and began working with her. Later, we teamed with Beth Gendler at NCJW and decided on the language. This is a low-cost effort that would help so many lives from having to miss out on their right to an education. Lives like mine, lives like your daughters, your nieces, and your granddaughters. At Hopkins, we didn't have tampons or pads available to us. We didn't have enough from our nurses who often paid for them from their own pockets. We provide free toilet paper, but we don't provide free tampons. We have been failing our girls for far too long. It is time to provide the one product that will allow them to peacefully go through the school day. Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to make sure I got your name right. Ozturk, is it spelled?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Ozturk. Next up, is it Mr. Stinson online? Or there, you're behind
Yes,
my
sir.
thing. So welcome to the committee. Please state your name and who you're with for the record. You may begin.
Hello, thank you, Mr. Chairman and Senate Education Committee members. My name is Dr. Thomas Stinson. I'm a practicing licensed school nurse and a public health nurse. I've worked for the St. Paul Public Schools now for almost 25 years coming up in October. Today I work at Harding High School, located in St. Paul, Minnesota, and our current enrollment is right around 1,900 students. I'm here in support to end period products in Minnesota schools. Every school I've worked at, period products has been an issue. School nurses don't have the funding for period products, and many pay for period products out of their own pocket. Period products is a basic need for all of our students, just like soap and toilet paper in our restrooms. Every single day, students come to my health office for period products. Many students don't have the money or means to get period products, so they rely on the public schools. I see about 40 to 50 students a day, and students may need to wait a while to talk with me. If we had period products available in the restrooms, this would be their needs would be met faster. Making period products more accessible will also decrease the amount of lost educational time. It is common for students to have accidents with their menses, and I contribute this to not having period products available. If this happens, the student would need to go home and miss the rest of the day, and this contributes to more lost educational time. We cannot expect individual schools to fund period products, because they won't. We need to have legislative support. Providing period products in our public schools is a public health issue and should be a right. Please support our work to end period poverty in Minnesota schools. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stinson. And last up is Ms. Gendler. Welcome to the committee. Please state your name and who you're with for the record. You may begin. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Chamberlain and members of the committee. My name is Beth Gendler, and I am the Executive Director of the National Council of Jewish Women in Minnesota. NCJW has been working in Minnesota to improve the quality of life for women, children, and families since 1893. And I'm kind of ashamed to admit that it wasn't until recently that we realized that period poverty isn't just an issue for developing countries, it's an issue that impacts students learning in our own neighborhoods. In 2017, we received this message from a parent. Dear NCJW, my child attends an alternative high school for at-risk teens. I recently learned that the school is in desperate need of menstrual supplies. Many of the students are homeless and simply don't have the means to buy these products, so I'm reaching out in hopes that you can help. Given our mission and given the fact that she reached out to me in November, very close to Give to the Max Day, we launched our very first Give to the Maxi Pad campaign. Super proud of that. We were able to purchase enough supplies for that school for a full year. Since then, we received a large donation of products, and we have distributed nearly 200,000 pads and tampons to schools and community organizations statewide. We are down to one pallet, and we need to ensure that kids aren't dependent on our teeny tiny organization's ability to secure donations and funding to meet this ongoing basic need. We also surveyed school staff, learning that sometimes students miss school when they have their period if they don't have access to supplies. We heard from teachers and nurses like Tom who use personal funds to buy supplies, and we heard from a lot of students like Elif who rely on a word-of-mouth network so students know where they can go for help. So just as it took NCJW about 125 years to recognize this as a problem, I think that as a society we have simply overlooked that period products are a basic bathroom hygiene need, really no different from toilet paper and hand soap. There's nothing partisan about periods, and it's simply time to correct this oversight and make sure that schools have the resources to adequately stock their bathrooms. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gendler. Brings us to the next step. Any questions, comments, members? Okay, looks like you've convinced everybody. So, well, thank you, Senator Cwodzinski. We talked about this before. Well, I'm like you. I mean, right? Who knew? And Ms. Gendler just mentioned it too, right? Over the years. So thanks for putting it together and bringing it up. And any final closing comments?
Thank you for that. And it's every day, this has been quite a journey for me, as you just alluded to, Chair Chamberlain. And it seems like every time I talk to a young person or any woman, I'm hearing a story that I never heard of. And I would urge my colleagues and members in the Senate to talk to the school nurses, talk to the school counselors, talk to the school teachers, and find out what the stories they have. I think you'd be in for a nice treat. And just as I said, it seems like every day I learn something about this issue. And in this legal aid message that's on your desks, I find out that using federal SNAP benefits towards menstrual products is prohibited. I wouldn't have ever guessed that. So again, the journey continues, and thank you, members, for hearing this bill.
Thank you, Senator Cwodzinski. Appreciate that. So Senate File 3052, as amended, will be laid over. Thank you very much, testifiers. Thank you, Senator Cwodzinski. So, Mr. Heller, did you have, we'll give you a couple minutes to address an issue. Okay, state your name for the record, and I'll give you 3 minutes. You may proceed, Mr. Heller. What is it you would like to address?
Thank you, Chamberlain. Today on the 7th of March at the Education Finance Policy Committee. My name is Rick Heller. I unofficially represent Twice Exceptional. Also, there was a merger in 2018. They have merged blind and print disabled now, so now I am unofficially represent only one group. They're called Twice Eligible. The Act of Congress did that when they merged the Madrid Treaty 2018, the same year that they mandated the smartphones to be compliant to web content accessibility guidelines and also read out loud to provide more digital accessibility and multisensory to content. I come to speak on the 0821, 3586, and 2426.
All three of them?
Yes, because it has to do with them applying web content accessibility guides in Section 508. Basically, 508 is a regulation that federal agencies follow. However, as I explore that, there's really no teeth and assurances of how people that use federal dollars to make sure that their documents are accessible. So the thesis of this is that you continue to approve things here, just like the legislature wants to apply Section 508 and web content accessibility guidelines. In October of 2024, it's my understanding what's good for the goose is good for the gander. People are going to be here and asking for provide programming and services. Are they making sure that stuff are multi-sensory, digitally accessible, minimally that it can read out loud, and people are not sighted issues, and also it's accessible with multi-sensory, such as refreshable braille.
So, Mr. Heller, it's your position that these programs were community ed and the community ed issues and after-school programming should also make sure that we're applying those certain standards to reading. Is that correct?
That's correct, Chair. In fact, I was able to go through the chair about a week or two ago through Dabney, and Mr. Adash with the Minnesota Department of Education was willing to yield to the question. And I asked him to get back to the committee on that application for the first bill that you had, the 0821. I would like to express to the audience, since they may not be able to see me, I'm a white male, about just a little bit under 6 foot with a face shield on. I think that's relevant. Also, your captioning up there is way too small. Number 2, your captioning that is in audio right now is not in captioning online and live. You can certainly look at that. And if you want to, with your working group, Ms. Weber is the chair for the I call it the Invisible Digital Accessibility Committee to work on the legislation to be compliant in October of 2024. I do appreciate this time to testify and open to any questions regarding this. I will assure you that if you can ask Mr. Adash about this, that I spoke to him in 2015 also about partnerships with community, that they were exempt from the accessibility law. That has to do with, for instance, the programs that has to do with.
Mr. Heller?
So anyways, I'll get off of that. I can send you that.
So, Mr. Heller, your position is you would support these things, but you want to make sure we're focusing on literacy and multisensory issues specifically. Is that correct?
Yes, Chair. If you had conformance, not compliance, I think that way people will look at the importance of accessibility as you would put that in a bill.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you for this opportunity to speak.
All right. Thank you for that input and insight and sharing your thoughts. So thank you, Mr. Heller. So members, with that, we are done with today's business. Thank you for your time and attention. We are meeting again on Wednesday. We will have 4 similar pieces of legislation. One for Pellsby, too. Thank you, members. We're adjourned.